Have you ever met somebody that was clearly capable of more? Maybe they were intelligent, maybe they were hardworking, maybe they had all the raw talent in the world, yet 10 years later, they're still in the same place, same job, same income, same routine. What if I told you that one of the biggest reasons people stay stuck isn't laziness, lack of intelligence, or lack of opportunity? It's a psychological bias so powerful that it earned its creators a Nobel Prize. And chances are, it's affecting your life right now. Psychologists Daniel Kahneman and Amos Tversky developed something called prospect theory. The basic idea is surprisingly simple. For most people, the pain of losing something is psychologically much stronger than the pleasure of gaining something of equal value. So losing $100 hurts more than gaining $100 feels good. That doesn't sound like a huge deal until you realize how much of life is governed by this tendency, because most of our major decisions involve uncertainty, and uncertainty focus forces us to weigh potential gains against potential losses. The problem, our brains don't weigh them equally. Imagine someone's making $75,000 a year. They're offered a role at a growing company. Maybe it's a lateral move, maybe it's even a slight step backward in title. But it comes with the potential for much greater growth over the next 5 to 10 years. Most people immediately focus on what they might lose. What if the company fails? What if I don't fit in? What if I lose the security I already have? Notice what happens. The brain isn't evaluating the opportunity objectively. It's magnifying the potential loss. Meanwhile, the upside gets discounted, so they stay exactly where they are. Not because it's the best option, but because it feels safer. Or think about education, not formal education, but more like personal development education. Books, courses, conferences, coaching. Most people see the cost immediately: the $25 book, the $300 conference, the $1,000 course. The money leaving their bank account is real and immediate. The future skill they might develop is uncertain and invisible, so they focus on the loss. What they don't calculate is that one idea from a book could improve their sales skills. One skill could increase their income. One relationship from a conference could change the trajectory of their career. The cost is visible, the opportunity is hidden. And because prospect theory, many people overweight the visible loss and underweight the invisible gain. This is where things get really interesting. Most people think they're making rational decisions, but they're often optimizing for comfort rather than growth. They're not asking, what has the highest expected return? They're asking, how do I avoid feeling loss? Those are not the same question, and over time that difference compounds year after year, decision after decision, opportunity after opportunity. Now, to be clear, prospect theory doesn't mean you should quit your job tomorrow. And it doesn't mean every business idea is brilliant. And it definitely doesn't mean every risk is worth taking. Sometimes staying where you are is absolutely the right decision. Sometimes the opportunity isn't worth the downside. The point isn't to become reckless, the point is to become aware, because most people only analyze one side of the equation. When people think about change, they usually ask, what if I make this move and I fail? And that's a reasonable question, but there's another question that's just as important. What happens if I don't make this move? What if staying where you are costs you a promotion? What if avoiding that new skill costs you future opportunities? What if refusing to invest in yourself keeps you from reaching your potential? What if the biggest risk isn't taking action? What if the biggest risk is standing still? Most people can tell you exactly what they might lose by making a change. Far fewer can tell you what they're losing by refusing to change. When I look back at some of the most valuable things I've done in my own life, many of them looked irrational in the short term.